In Tenkaichi, only the strong triumph, be it as a result of natural gifts, skill or an unbreakable will. Those with the ability to show superiority to their opponent are those who triumph. However, in the second match of the tournament, well, it's kind of hard to imagine one of the competitors showing their superiority over, well, anyone. I'm of course talking about Toda Sagan, an old man, weak in frame and blind as a brick wall. But we only think about it that way because that's what our eyes see, an old man stumbling along. As we will learn in this match, you often see more when you don't use your eyes at all. One of Nobunaga's retainers voices these thoughts, thinking of Toda as weak and undeserving of fighting before Nobunaga. As a retainer of the Oda clan, this samurai thinks himself above a senile old man. He believes his position gives him the power to dictate to those weaker, but as shown again and again in this series, power can only be shown by force. If you want something, just take it. If someone pisses you off, then kill them. And well, Toda follows this line of thinking, cutting off the mouthy retainer's hand, because if you're gonna talk big about being able to beat someone, then you can't ask for backsies when they put your words to the test. As Ramaru says, he should be anything but strong, yet he is. He is a man who will kill an Oda retainer without any care. When people are angered, he tells them to come stop him with force then. He doesn't bow down to others, even the Oda clan. The only way to stop him is to cut him down. He lives by the sword in the purest of senses. He will do what he pleases as his strength allows it. So if anyone wants to stop him, then they've got to show their strength is superior to his own. Now if Toda is a feeble old man, then Fuma is the opposite. The 5th Kotaro is portrayed as a monster, larger than even Musashi. Leading the strongest fighting force in Japan, he is a savage, untamable beast, forced to be restrained due to his raw might, and yet he is too weak to fight there. This ravenous beast of a man, who those in the crowd feared, was nothing but a seat for the true leader of the Fuma. From a rabid beast to a tame dog, the 5th was just too weak, and so was rendered to this by the superior power of the 6th Fuma Kotaro, the one called the Fuma Empress. A title of prestige, one that may even seek to challenge the authority of Oda Nobunaga himself, the Emperor. To flaunt such a title in the Shogun's face could be nothing more than a message that his throne will be taken by the power of the Fuma. However, as if to prove why he is the one to bring this tournament about, Nobunaga once again flaunts his power. These may be death matches for those involved, important matters, but to him, this is but amusement, a pastime, foremost a game for his own entertainment. And so he has a giant die thrown to decide the next arena, a die so large no normal man could throw it. Perhaps to say how even if they wanted to change the outcome, only the truly strong could hope to move that die. How the people here are powerless to change the choices Nobunaga makes. If you want to overthrow him, then you need to win Tenkaichi by showing you are strong. This new arena is the Forest of Blood, another showing of Nobunaga's immense power, being able to grow an entire forest just for one fight. Now Toda is old and frail, his body seems weak, the complete opposite of Fuma and her body at the brink of what musculature is biologically possible. In size and raw power they couldn't be more different, so if Toda is to stand a chance, then of course he must have something besides raw power. Fuma opens up the fight with a weapon that is a shuriken in name only, because in reality it is closer to a clump of metal, a perfect weapon for one who embodies pure might and dominance, an unstoppable and destructive weapon that gets more deadly the stronger the person who throws it. But pure might is far from enough to deal with Todo's skill. He refuses to make this a match of brute force, and hence he dodges it with ease and delivers a precise counter attack. In this exchange we get to see just how abnormal both these fighters are, with Toda a blind man knowing exactly where Fuma was and what she was about to do, and Fuma being able to pull back a punch even after throwing it. His senses are abnormal, as is her physical body. Now the secret to Toda's extreme senses is his white knight eye. He can see more than those who can see, because unlike you or me, he can't rely on his eyesight. Sound, temperature, vibrations in the air, he takes in all possible stimulus and with it observes the world. But it is not a skill he was born with, it's something cultivated through time and effort. Short and with bad eyes, Toda never was blessed with natural talent, so everything he brings to this fight is the result of his own efforts. Fuma though is different. In fact, as she says, she will use the talent that dwells in her body and will consume his efforts. And so she throws her shuriken once more, this time with even greater strength. She will destroy his efforts with nothing but pure might. An attack so fierce it blew right through a tree trunk, as if to say her physical power has surpassed the realms of the natural world. And then she claps. A clap so loud it's hard to just call it a clap. This sound wave bursts Toda's eardrums and takes out his hearing. Through nothing but muscle, she is breaking down all of his efforts. But as we know, there is more to Toda's efforts than just hearing good. It won't be that easy for him to be overpowered. As we learn via flashback, Toda sought to pass down his skills to his grandson. When his eyes still worked, he himself was never incredible, but he saw the potential in his grandson, and so trained him to be the best. He wished to support the grandson he loved while he still could. And then, as his grandson Zen said, when it comes time, he will support him in turn. But then, due to the advance of the Oda forces, his grandson ended up dead. With his grandson dead, he had nothing left and so sat alone till his vision went completely. With Zen gone, there was no point in even having eyes, as he could no longer look at his beloved grandson. With his grandson gone, he simply gave up. But then in his blindness, he convinced himself his grandson was still alive. Was it delusion, a result of his extreme senses, or something else? Whatever the case, Zen was urging him to become the strongest in the world. So he trained with this imaginary grandson until he became stronger than he was when he could see, put in more effort than when he could see. Because unlike then, he now has a goal he must accomplish, to become the strongest in the world, to live up to the expectations of his grandson. He needs the reason to keep living, and Zen, even if he wasn't still in this world, became that reason. And so he grew strong, through nothing but effort, guided by the grandson he once guided to become truly strong. Fuma on the other hand uses not effort to get even stronger, instead they inject themselves with a drug. No, in all honesty, a poison. A toxin that usually would kill a person, but due to Fuma's insane physicals, she survives. In short, it's another cheat due to her insane natural talent. Without this talent, the poison would kill her, but due to the gift she was blessed by the gods, she is able to endure it and become even stronger. In Fuma's flashback, we learn of two young shinobi, Kurenai and Aoi, who showed each other friendship even in the cutthroat life of a shinobi. Kurenai showed great promise, but had one glaring weakness, their care for Aoi. One was strong and destined for great things due to their natural talent, the other was weak, only surviving due to the aid of their friend. Kurenai tried to stand up for their friend, volunteering to join her friend in the dirt team. Throwing aside the opportunity her natural talent afforded her, she sought to use effort to crawl back up, but in the world of the Fuma clan, talent is everything. No amount of effort can change your fate. Dirt can never escape its destiny to be trodden on, as the dirt team in reality was just a load of human lab rats for the Fuma's drug tests. Those with no talent were made use of, and so the lab rats died one after another, and after many experiments, only those two were left, making them perfect for one final test, the limiter removal drug. Kurenai begged for Aoi to be spared, and Aoi does the same. Such friendship between them is admirable, but not in the eyes of the Fuma clan. And so both are given the drug, Aoi succumbing almost immediately, forced to experience a horrid death, but Kurenai instead survives. You see, it wasn't friendship she felt for Aoi, that wasn't the reason she always looked out for her. Aoi was her beloved dog, and having had her beloved dog killed, Kurenai went on a rampage, leaving the 5th Kotoroi to become her new dog in Aoi's place. The weak submitting to the strong, her natural talent is what allowed her to rise up and escape the destiny of dirt, not any effort on her part. Though this very much is the 5th Kotoroi's interpretation, and given it seems Kurenai was about to confess, it very well could have been a genuine romantic love for Aoi that Kurenai harboured, a love that twisted after the trauma, turning Kurenai into the Fuma we know today. She was one with natural talent, and then that talent was allowed to be expressed to the fullest due to the Miyabi Orochi, giving power to, as the 5th said, one who shouldn't have it. And as such she ascended beyond human limits to the power of the gods. Fuma's body reaches everywhere, it can do anything. That is the power she has, the power to do anything she wants without opposition. And with her opponent so powerless, she takes a sadistic turn. Like a cat playing with a powerless mouse, she rips off Toda's ear with ease, as she has gone beyond human limits, now a beast incarnate. However, Toda won't allow her to control this match, to dictate to him how this will end. to trample upon all his efforts with her natural talent. He chains the beast, shows he won't be so easily dominated. He will instead dominate her, and turns this into a chain deathmatch. However, it's never that easy, and so she turns the table. He no longer has her chained, she has him chained. It's now a competition to see who will chain down the other, who will be in control of the fight, and who will step over the other. And so face to face with Fuma's talent that far outweighs his own, Toda has to hone his skills further, pushes his mind to even greater extremes, till he can even observe the synapses firing in his opponent's brain, allowing him to literally see the future, to observe her movements before she makes them. She pushed her body beyond its limits with drugs, and he pushed his mind beyond its limits with effort. The gods gave Toda a weak body despite being in a samurai family. He was not suited to the sword but trained with it anyway. Then his sight was taken, and his beloved grandson. Every time something was taken away, he made up for it with effort. Now the gods want to take his life, so he will try even harder, because every time he gets dealt hardship, he overcomes it with effort. That is Toda's way. He turned the death of his beloved grandson into fuel to get stronger. He will do anything. It is what brings him fulfillment in life. It's fun for him. Fun to overcome hardship and stick it to God. But now as death is around the corner, he must overcome it too. He needs to win to make all his efforts worthwhile. But then he sees visions of Zen, not as some ghostly apparition, but as the pure white grandson he once taught. He finds acceptance here. This is his reward at the end of his bloodstained path, meeting his grandson again. He could die here, die happy, and fulfilled. But Toda turns his back and walks back into the bloody battlefield. Because at this point he can't allow himself to die. He won't allow this woman to overcome everything he's gone through. He will win. And so even as his heart is ripped out, he still attacks, making even the great Fuma Empress feel fear. To fight to the very end, no even beyond it, is a testament to his undying will to overcome everything life throws at him. But in the end his efforts did not overcome her might. And the victor was the 6th Kotaro, the Fuma Empress. Not that she cares much about winning. What she learnt in this match was that stealing stuff away is pretty fun. And if you want to support this channel even further, then perhaps pledge to my Patreon, or consider becoming a channel member so you can get your name at the end of the video, like Rinjack9696, Mr. Sputum, Marimo, Jack Hammer, Zolby and Eric Hinton.